So we're going to talk about the monarchy, the structure of kingship and reign in that region of those nations, the nations that make up the United Kingdom. Okay, Scotland, Wales, England. All right. And the Lord is saying, there will be a new generation that will be heirs to the throne. A new covenant will be made. Right? That is between God and that kingdom. Everything of the old will be in the past. There will be a new trust. And watch the saga play out. Great is his faithfulness. Great things he will do. And great things he will continue to do. So, I just want to elaborate and blunt that. In this time and this season to come, there will be much to see. Much will unfold before our very eyes. Alright? So we see that the queen has passed, and there was a lot of prophecies of this taking place in the near future, and it has come to pass. God had shown me that notice. There's something that like a notice board around the same size, right? And every time something notable takes place that will change the course of the operations or the lives of the royal family and the monarch, that system of kingship there, any major event that takes place, they will always have this notice that they will place on the gate of Buckingham Palace. And God showed me a vision where I was seeing them putting a notice on the gates of the palace. And he said to me that the queen would die. And he showed me who will take over. Now in that vision, I didn't see the king. Now we have a king that is reigning. Automatic, he has automatically ascended the throne as the next in succession, the next in line to carry on rule, right, in that kingdom. So we have a new king, and he's there, and I think they will do the officiate. They will officiate, and he has already been proclaimed and declared as king. But that kind of inauguration, that notable event that they will signify, well, oh, the king is there. Yes, some other formalities will take place a year after, right? But he's there now, and God has shown me where his reign will not be as long as we would hope or think. Alright? He's there, he's reigning as king, and it will be for a time. It won't be all that long. Now, God didn't say 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, but as time goes by, he's gonna give clearer insight into how long he'll remain there as king. But I saw that his son will assume that position not long after he has been declared king. In the near future, his son will become king. And the Lord was showing me, or he was focusing a lot on William's wife. And some things will start taking place, and we'll see why she will come into focus heavily, okay? Because although he was king, the focus was more on her. And there are some things that will indicate why that should be, why that would be. But I wouldn't delve into all that at this time. Alright? But they will suffer some losses. You know, we might see some individuals passing on, you know, for probably health reasons and what have you. I wouldn't want to speculate, and I wouldn't want to go into more details at this time. But you know, let's focus now on all the ceremonies and the pomp and spectacle that will sort of take place after they have dealt with the changing hands from the queen to the king. And when they have put her to rest, we see a lot of events surrounding the king taking place. There'll be a lot of boisterous events that would surface. A lot of things will be brought into the spotlight. And we see Meghan and Harry come into focus in the sense that we see them together walking side by side with his brother in some of the processions and greeting the crowds, the two brothers with their wives coming together and greeting the crowds. And you know, sometimes they would have these things as protocol so that healing and the people can have a sense of unity and to be able to get past this really horrendous time where the kingdom is really being plunged into a state of sorrow and, you know, grief. But God has mentioned something to do with Harry, and in the future we can see him taking some roles back in the royal duties. All right, but a lot of things gonna start to take place. A lot of things gonna fall into place. A lot of shifting and changes. There will be conflicts. There will be some things that would surface, and it's gonna be very dynamic. This period of time that we see from this time where the queen has passed on to this time that the king will reign for, this duration of time that he will be king for, and that transition from him to his son, who is next in line to the throne. Okay? A lot of things will start to take place. So let's keep watching. You know, it will be amusement. It will be really, some things will really be shocking. Some things will be spectacular to look at. You know, we never saw a king being, some of us in our lifetime, we have never seen the pomp and ceremony into inaugurating a new king or queen in our lifetime. The pageantry, the spectacle, the glamour, what have you that comes with it. All the celebration, because right now they are going through the process of putting the queen to rest, and You know, when God gave me that vision, God had me to say, London Bridge has fallen down. And I thought that was, you see, you don't always understand what God is saying. I thought that was the vision that He showed me where, you know, London will have a lot of disasters and flooding. And we see in recent time where there has been a lot of floods in London. And you know, every nation that goes through all these disasters and whatever, we keep saying, there's global warming, there's climate change, and there's all these things taking place. Well, whatever it is, we see that places that you never really see so much flooding and disasters taking place, we see that happening now. And I saw something taking place near that bridge, where that big Ferris wheel is. But I haven't seen that taking place yet, but I thought when God said London Bridge is falling down, I thought some disaster was going to take place there. But that quote was not pertaining to the whatever disaster or happening that would come to pass there. That was a code that they have installed concerning the Queen, and at that time when she would die, she would pass away. That was a code.
Amen.
And that code would indicate what was supposed to, the steps that were supposed to be taken, and protocol that was in place for when this event would have taken place. Because we see it has taken place, and I didn't realize it until when she passed away. The people that are in charge, and then it will come across the news, and then we'll hear the reporters and them talking about London Bridge has fallen, and that's the operation mode that they would go step into, or that they will take as soon as something happens to the Queen. And this is where I got the revelation, and if you understand, when God had me to say London Bridge has fallen down, it was indicating that the Queen has passed, and we shift into gear and protocol surrounding what is to take place step by step until that time where the king is appointed, and when all the military drills and all the military roles and steps will be followed day after day, because it's a few days well that they have to carry on with certain protocols to lead up to that final resting place for the Queen to be taken place, right? To take place, right? So let's move away from that now. We will see, and we will see, and we will hear of other things that will start to take place now. And you know, that day when the Queen had passed away, we saw a rainbow. As a matter of fact, 2 rainbows in the sky. But you see, when God puts up kings, God is a God of covenant.
Yeah.
Even with us as the children of God, God had made a covenant with mankind that He will never destroy the earth with water again. And we saw, not 2, but we saw a rainbow, and then we saw like half of a rainbow. I didn't see the whole rainbow over the skies of London there. I saw like 1.5 or 1 part there of the whole rainbow. And in my spirit, it was like one covenant that will stay, a covenant to summon forever and ever until death, or for eternity, because we have covenants that God makes with us, and it's for our lifetime, right?
Amen.
And then that next rainbow, it was not a complete rainbow, but that can indicate a new covenant being made with that kingdom, that rule,
The new king.
that new elected king, or kings to follow, because after him his son will take up the reign of king. All right. So and then she was there for such a long time, and she inherited from her father that was king, and he was not in line to be king, it was his brother. And his brother did not take up his role of becoming king. And then it came to Queen Elizabeth's father. And that is where she was next in line and she became queen. So, if we look back in Bible time, we see where Abraham had 2 sons, Isaac had 2 sons, and one, Esau didn't want to take his birthright, which is to carry on the succession of his father as ruler, as political leader, as in the case of the judiciary, to carry on the laws of the land and follow through, and to live that life of obedience to God.
Amen.
You see, and it went to Jacob. And as a matter of fact, it was always intended. If we study the word there with the 2 brothers, we see some similarities coming down there. We can make a parallel then and see.
Amen.
That king was not really in line for the throne.
Amen.
But sometimes God changes script. I like to say God changes script to his agenda and his plan. Right? And his purpose. Not agenda, but we like to say agenda is for the world. Let's not use that term when it comes to God. But God plan and God purpose. And God will have things to change up a bit sometimes. You see it coming down a line and then bam, God just change and go on to somebody else. Right? David was there and we would think that David will build the temple, but then God said no, his son will build the temple. So if we look at this closely, she became queen because her father, who was not the rightful heir, because his brother didn't want it, he became king and then she inherited the kingdom. And now we see where her son is in line for the throne. He is the elected king right now. And for whatever reason that God alone knows, he will not be there for such a long time. It will be passed on to his son. And all this is because of the plan of God, the will of God, the timing of God.
Amen.
And only God knows all things.
Amen.
There are some things that we will not be privy to know, but for God.
Amen.
God is privy to the times, the changing of the times and the season. We are not privy to that. We could only have an idea and try to conjure up some theories why, and some signs that we might see in the heavens, and some moons and some blood moons and what have you, and could assign it to a certain period in time that could indicate certain events that might take place after such and such events take place. But we are God's servants. He's the king, he's in charge, and that is left to God. This is why he is God, and this is why he is God all by himself. Okay? So, God is great, and he's greatly to be praised.
Not yet at the top of my game, but the love of God been taking me places. Not yet at the top of my goals, but the love of God been giving me graces.